We're now proud to share 4 incredible stories from the B Corp community. These stories show how different organizations their actions have had a huge impact.
And we want to encourage you to reflect as well on these stories to see how far you have come. And just a quick reminder that we will be asking you later to share what you will do and change to make your own impact in the next 10 years.
I mean, that's quite a big thing, isn't it, thinking about the impact that you're going to make in the next 10 years. It always starts small. It starts from now. And I hope that some of the stories from these next 4 organizations will give you ideas about what you can action to make a real impact. So I'm going to welcome to the stage the first of our 4 organizations from Brompton and Saheli Hub. Please welcome Julian, Scriven, and Naseem Akhtar.
Hi, my name's Naseem Akhtar. I'm CEO of Saheli Hub and a founder. And when I was growing up in a family of 5 brothers as a Pakistani girl, I always wanted to do what the boys wanted to do. So I was really good at sport, cricket, football, you name it. And by the time I got to 9, my mum said, "Isn't it about time you started behaving like a girl?" And so I was a little bit disappointed by that. And what I used to love doing was going to my uncle's house and getting on the bikes. But if I was seen by any of the adults, I'd be, "Shh, girls shouldn't be on bikes." And I'd say, okay, and I'd get off. But then I learnt the trick of pretending to go down the street. My brother would be waiting around the corner. I'd hop on the back of his bike and he'd drive me all around the neighbourhood. And I used to love it. But the key thing about that was that kind of culture change and shift I needed to make. All girls in my community go to school, go home, go to school, go home, and that's all they do. So when I became an adult, I thought things would really change for women and girls, but it didn't. So I set up Saheli Hub, and what we did is start to provide activities and opportunities for girls to do what they wanted to do, really. And so I wanted to make changes for the next generation. So I set up the first ever girls club, and the first thing I did was rock climbing, skiing, canoeing, and biking. It was so exciting. Yeah. And we were donated 20 bikes by the local authority, and what I did was manage to get a lot of people engaged very quickly because many girls wanted to do this kind of stuff. But the key thing was community not understanding. So what we started to do was set up cycling clubs in our local parks, and we started to do learn to ride, lead ride, cycle ride, and then we've got to the stage now we do lots of trips, activities, adventures. But I went to a parliamentary ride, I was invited to speak, and I said the system had to change. We've got to stop funding national bodies of sport and physical activity, but actually send that money to community groups. And that's where I met Julian.
Thank you, Naseem. Not so much a person, more a force of nature, I'm sure you'll agree. So we founded Wheels for Heroes, a not-for-profit initiative at Brompton in 2020 to support the key sector workers to get to and from their very important jobs during the COVID-19 crisis. We actually supported about 3,500 key sector workers with that initiative through that period. At the end of it, we wanted to spin it out further. We saw this was doing a lot of good things. We were starting to move towards B Corp, but we weren't quite sure how to get into communities. We had the bikes, we had the system. What we didn't have was access into communities. I went along to a parliamentary event, and along with my godson, who was doing some work experience. And I thought, look, you might as well come along. This is part of my stupid job. Come along and see what it's all about. He sat in the audience. At the end, he said very shyly, "Would you mind if I went and said hello to the panel?" Now, on that panel was Chris Boardman. So I said, of course, massive cycling hero. So we walk up, and this gangly 15-year-old walks straight past Chris Boardman, who's got his hand out like that, to Naseem, said, "You're the most inspirational person I've ever spoken to." At that point, I understood something very fundamental. It's something that Naseem said on the day. If you want to make impact, it's all very well putting stuff into national bodies, but if you put £1 into a local body like Naseem, Saheli Hub, sorry, how did I lose that? Saheli Hub, it will have far more impact on that community than £100 at national level. So if I want to inspire you with one thought, is go back to your local communities. Find those little seeds. We now work with 7,500 people 2,000 of which have become regular cyclists, and all of it is with people like Naseem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Finisterre.
Oh.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I'm Adele and I work for an outdoor clothing brand called Finisterre. We're based on the beautiful north coast of Cornwall, and I'm here today to talk to you about our adaptive wetsuit. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Andrew. He's the inspiration behind our very first adaptive wetsuit and then what evolved into the wetsuit project. Andrew grew up in Cornwall, spent his childhood in the sea like most do down there. It provides him freedom, respite, time to spend with his family as a child, and now he has his own beautiful family. Due to his cerebral palsy, he found getting in and out of the ocean hard, which was exacerbated by a wetsuit. Anyone tried to get into a technical wetsuit, we know how tricky that is. His wonderful wife, Laura, emailed us and said, I just want a bit of advice. We bought one of your wetsuits. We're just wondering if we could adapt it in some way. So we're like, we'll work with you. We'll see what we can do. So, not being specialists in adapting wetsuits, we worked with a local partner called Bodyline, and we all sat down and said, what can help you? And it still needs to function. This is the thing. We didn't want to take away from the technical aspect of our wetsuit. And it was amazing. We added additional zips for ease of entry. And it suddenly dawned on us that we could use our business as usual to have a wider impact on our community. And our experience of making clothing and trying to break down the barrier of access to the ocean. So off the back of that, we realized, wow, this is something we can channel, we can focus our community work on this, and we formed the Finisterre Foundation. And that has now been going for the last 3 years. We have since adapted over 150 wetsuits. So like the colleagues before were saying from Brompton, it's not always the huge numbers, but it's the outcome that you have. Andrew now has freedom to go to the beach with his family, and we've removed that one additional barrier of kit. And everything that we can do to ease access to the ocean, we'll keep working and looking at kit so we can remove that. Going forward, any wetsuit we sell, we'll donate 3% to the wetsuit project to fund adaptations. And it's not just our suits. Any suit, any size, will adapt it. And it's not easy, like most of you know, when you're focusing on business and balancing that with community work. But the one thing we found is focus on where your strengths lie in your everyday business, and it definitely makes it easier to apply that to your general impact work. So it's been a baptism of fire, but it's wonderful when you get to see the people enjoying sort of the outcomes of the project, all initiated by Andrew and his wife Laura. So that's everything about the wetsuit project. So it's a fast one, but I have the pleasure of now introducing 2 members from the B Corp Beauty Coalition. Thank you for your time.
Over the last 60 years, the personal care and beauty industry has been super successful at creating a very profitable business model. We create incredible products and services that everybody loves, generating over $1 trillion annually. But while we innovate towards a more natural and diverse approach, we face a big problem: waste, through overproduction and overconsumption.
The beauty industry is global, highly unregulated, diverse, competitive, and often non-collaborative, representing an outdated linear approach to doing business. But what if there was a different way? A way where equity and equality for people and planet were at the forefront, without trade-offs on profit, turning linear into circular through active collaboration.
Welcome to the future. We're Joe Chidley and Bernie Maza. We're honoured to represent the B Corp Beauty Coalition, a collective of beauty businesses united through their commitment to sustainability, transparency, and collaboration. Today, we're here not just to talk about change. We're here to ignite a movement to transform our industry and support you in bringing it to yours.
Our mission is simple yet ambitious: to unite global B Corp beauty brands for the common good. We believe in the power of collective action to tackle big issues such as overproduction and overconsumption by elevating industry standards. By joining forces, we aim to create a blueprint for others, proving that collaboration, not competition, is the way forward.
We were inspired by the fragmented efforts in the beauty industry. Great initiatives exist, but they're often isolated. So we saw the opportunity to lead, to bring those efforts together and shift industry standards towards a more sustainable and regenerative future. This coalition isn't just a project, it's part of the B Corp movement. We're setting the stage to catalyse other coalitions to form. We're creating a roadmap to demonstrate what we can do together, and we're only getting started.
We're embracing a 360-degree feedback loop, constantly refining our approach. Our focus is on collective action and advocating for change, key elements of B Lab's theory of change. But it's the human element that drives us. Volunteers giving their time and energy because they believe in the cause. It's the passion, the commitment, and the shared vision that drives us forward.
And the impact is already showing. On governance, we've set up a company structure alongside financial and legal needs. On workers, we've employed our first team member and set the operations around this. On community, we're learning how to engage with our volunteers and support them because they truly believe in the power of collaboration. On environment, we have created a blueprint to better understand packaging and choose what best suits your business needs. And on customer, we're proving that a pre-competitive mindset can achieve so much more than we ever could alone.
But let's be clear, this is just the beginning. The real impact will show us our coalition translate the vision into change, as we push industries' boundaries for industries to also adapt to new regulations, and as we challenge others to join us. So, what are we asking from you? We want to provoke thoughts, but most importantly, inspire action. Who can you partner with today to say yes to collaboration over competition? Is there a commitment or pledge you can do on behalf of your industry today? We're here to give you guidance on how to replicate our model in your industry.
In the end, it all comes back to circularity, rethinking how we produce, consume, and collaborate. By embracing this mindset, we're not just reducing waste, but we're building a sustainable future where every action has a purpose and every choice contributes to the building of a more sustainable future. Let's close the loop together. Collaboration isn't just a choice or an option. It's the way forward. Together we can change industry. Together we can generate positive impact. Are you in?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for the last, please welcome Abb-d and Joe presenting Design Declares.
Hi, my name's Joe. I am an industrial designer and founder of B Corp Design Agency, Murama.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abb-d Taiyo. I'm co-founder and chief creative officer of digital design and impact agency Drifttime and co-CEO of Design Declares.
80% of the impact of the products and services that you use will have been determined at the design stage. And yet in the UK, only 60% of designers, in fact, 60% of designers feel that they don't have the green skills needed to bring sustainability into their practice. Imagine if we could close that green skills gap. Imagine if we could shift the design industry to actually better designing for our planet. Design Declares was set up in 2022 to do just that. Design Declares is a campaign, a call to action, centered around 8 acts of emergency. Act 1, sound the alarm. Simply acknowledge the climate crisis. Start talking about it. Through to Act 3, bring clients and stakeholders with us. Ultimately, they are quite often the ones making key decisions on projects. So we need to hold their hands. We need to guide them on making the right decisions. And then finally, Act 8, working with policymakers, activists, scientists, collaboratively to amplify voices for change. Our mission is to give designers across digital, communications and graphic, industrial and service design the tools that they need to factor the needs of our planet into their design practice.
Over the last couple of years, and since launching in 2022, we've been able to grow the signatories list to just under 1,000, shy of about 3 or 5. Half of which are in the UK, and the other half spread across the world over 48 different countries. We're able to celebrate and advocate for the work that fully adopts the 8 acts. From product design studio Pearson Lloyd, taking the 6th act of educate and accelerate, advocating for circular design through exhibitions and their projects, through to cities and climate, taking the 5th act of redefining good, using design and research to find practical implementations of creative strategies to address the climate crisis. With Design Council's support, we've collaborated on researching the green design skills gap, exploring insights into the scale and skills of environmental design within the UK. And things aren't just happening in the UK alone. Global chapters are growing and building in Ireland, Brazil, and Australia, truly taking the movement to an international scale.
It's so empowering to see the design community come together and respond to this. But we need businesses on board as well. The main thing that's holding them back is the fear or the belief that to do things sustainably is too expensive. But design is the solution, not the problem. There's definitely the solution. Design-driven companies outperform industry benchmark growth 2 to 1. So investing in planet-conscious design is clearly the right thing to do.
And so we are just getting started. And for the future, our goal remains to continually grow signatories and build the community. Establish new global chapters with ongoing talks with Portugal, Japan, and the US. And explore further ways to engage the community through the 8 acts and with more prescriptive guidance, insight, and collective action. And like many initiatives, we rely on passionate people volunteering their time. And so we welcome any support, whether that be monetary, time itself, or skills. And if you'd like to get involved, we encourage you to kind of reach out to us on our website, designdeclares.com. And on a final note, if you are in the creative industry, we encourage you to sign the declaration. If you're not, we are a registered CIC on 1% for the Planet for any business members that might be out there. And if neither of those feel viable, please consider working with those that adopt these acts and these principles, so your projects and the work that you're doing designs towards a more sustainable future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.